Hello and welcome to Princess Lillian's Garden. In today's video, we're going to discuss growing strawberries, and I'm going to try to compare the two options that we have, either that we grow our strawberries in pots or we grow it in the ground. Strawberries have very short stems and then they have long leaves, and they bear their fruit on the very short stem, which means the strawberries will be below the leaves. That makes them very close to the ground. For this reason, it's advisable sometimes to try to plant in containers so as to save your strawberries from being eaten by insect pests and slugs and even squirrels, birds. You'll be able to protect your strawberries better if they are inside the containers than if they were on the ground. Because being on the ground along with other plants, for example with these my tomatoes, every pest that comes from other plants would also be disturbing the strawberries, and it's not going to be easy to actually protect just your strawberries. In the case of the tomatoes, they will grow up and the fruits will be born at a higher level, whereas, as I said earlier, the strawberries are born on the very short stem of the strawberry plant. That means they're going to be very low down. And secondly, when you're growing in ground, it's not very easy to mulch it. As you have seen, you can't really mulch the entire place all the time, but if it's in a container, you can mulch it and you won't have strawberries like this that have been bitten by slugs or whatever. When you plant a few strawberries, they will start to produce little clones of themselves, so you can end up having more strawberries. If you're growing inside containers, you should try to take off the clones so that your container does not get overcrowded. If it's in the ground and there's a lot of spacing, you can put the little babies and root them directly into the ground. But while in a container, you would need to root your little baby strawberries somewhere else so that you don't overcrowd your strawberry pot. Strawberries will produce flowers like this, and they need about 6 to 8 hours of exposure to the sun. They need very good, rich, fertile soil, and you have to put in amendments every fortnight because they are heavy feeders. Strawberries will produce beautiful flowers. On the sunny days, it looks like a bright golden piece. Strawberries by June will be red and ready for harvesting. This is why they are called June bearing. It's great and it's easy for you to mulch your strawberries, and I'm using pine needles in this bed so as to prevent slugs from climbing around and all over the place. This will take down their number, and also it helps keep the soil from drying out. You can see the soil is covered in pine needles, and this actually would help retain water so that even when you have this sun, the evaporation will not be so much from the soil. It's just going to be the water that is lost through the leaves, and your plant will remain fresh and green. And when you come along and see it in the bright sun, it will be a very beautiful I mean, I just love the flowers of the strawberries because it's a promise that you're going to get some very juicy fruits very soon when you see beautiful white flowers like this, and these are going to mature and become fruits very soon before the end of June. Now we have the fruits and they're ripening, and very soon it's time to harvest them and have a taste. Remember to cover your garden bed. At this point, we cover with a net. This may not be very easy on the ground, although it's still possible, but if it's in a container, it's much easier to cover your strawberries to prevent birds, squirrels, mice, mouse, rats just from coming along and having a bite. You can grow very tasty strawberries if you place your strawberry plants where they receive at least 8 hours of sun, and you also give them very good, rich, fertile soil that contains a lot of humus. Humus is found in compost, so you can either purchase compost or you make compost and you use it in your strawberry bed. Actually, growing in containers enables you to site your strawberries, because one thing is growing in the soil can keep your strawberries hidden, and then they could just get damaged and you're not aware they're there. That strawberry is one that I've kept my eye on for a long time, and I'm so glad to be able to pluck it today. You can conveniently harvest from a container without having to bend down, bend your knee, bend your back, so it's convenient for a lot of people. I hope you can decide the best way to grow your strawberries, either in containers or in ground, and leave me a comment, like this video and subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you again when I'll be discussing the pests of strawberries and what we can do to get the best strawberries possible.